Welcome to the Lifelinks podcast, all you sassy Latinas. This is where you come to hear stories that resonate with you, help you discover your true cultural identity, tossing off the need to fit in, and standing out with your authenticity, because that is your superpower. I'm your host, Consuelo Crosby, and also the creator of this content. If there's anything you'd like to share, please reach out to us on our Instagram social media at Lifelinks, that's LNXX, or through our website at thelinks.com. Of course, come here for some love and chat sessions with our fab guests from the comunidad. Sit back, have your cafecito, maybe some vino, whatever you like. We are bringing the sisterhood to you. Hola, chicas! So grateful you joined us this week for the Lifelinks podcast to catch up on what's happening in the Latina community with so many fabulous women, sharing their stories of how they started, what's happening, and where they're going. I get so caught up in their inspirational stories as I interview them that I admittedly forget sometimes that I'm supposed to be leading with the questions. Sometimes I'm just like, go with it. I just want to hear everything you have to say. What I ask may not even be important. And that's why we do these pod club episodes like today's, so we can reflect back on the life gems that we heard last week, in case we get so caught up in the stories and we just needed a moment to sink into it. We had a full episode last week with Melissa Polanco, founder of Ring of Color beauty brand that celebrates the power and beauty of diversity. All the colors, all included never-ending circle of color. Now, if you haven't caught up on that episode, no worries. This Pod Club episode stands alone because the life gems are truly universal. I really had fun with your messages, too, on our social media, on our Lifelinks Instagram, learning about your ideas of makeup and your relationship with it, as Melissa pointed out. And just where you're at. The slippers and sweatpants mode was making me laugh. That definitely is a space where I don't even look in the mirror. And yet, Melissa's telling us, don't forget your lip oil. You need these beauty brands. Even when you're slouching on the couch, not going outside, you need these beauty brand products. And then Sarah wrote in, quote unquote, wearing the fun of last night still. Okay, totally can relate to that, but not for the same reason, I'm sure. More like I'm too wiped out at night to take it off, rather than I had so much fun, I just don't even want to stop and take it off. But let's give some context to all this. Melissa is a Dominican founder who moved to Michigan at 18 with her family and took on the big challenge of embracing a new culture. And it's through this life journey that she engaged in all different groups of friendship and support, and ultimately her entrepreneurial adventure to launch her first beauty brand, Aya's Eve's Cosmetics, with her sister about 5 years ago. But she didn't stay there. As you heard last week, she moved on and refocused her brand to now Ring of Color beauty brand. And this is one of the great life gems Melissa brought up because we know how difficult it can be for, one, finding community when living away from your cultural heritage, and two, venturing out on your own to start a business. Yet, even as an introvert, Melissa shared how she found her community through any resource available, like academic classes and social media. And like most Latinas, the women in those groups, they wanted to help in any way possible because that's how we see each other rise. And that's how we become successful and take space in this society. So remember, you're not alone in any venture you want. Whether it's finding community or building a business, we are here for you. Big takeaway from last week, listening to all of her experiences and the groups that she entered, and how well she was received and supported and helped into this process towards her Ring of Color beauty brand. But still, even as you heard last week, Melissa is truly a special woman. I mean, her empathy just oozed out of her, whether it's her video game personality, her college counselor personality, her founder and entrepreneur personality. Regardless of where she was at, her empathy was always present on the surface in both involving people, whether it's customers or her college students, or I'm guessing the people she's gaming with, and the whole thought process she had in developing her business. She really values the experience and struggles she's faced, but not just because she overcame them, but that she can share the experience with others so that they can learn from her without having to go through it all themselves. And definitely don't go through it alone. That is a big takeaway. Melissa just loves helping people, making their life easier so that they can rise in self-love and self-esteem. And this is from the owner of a beauty company. Most beauty companies want to sell you products that have little to do with who you are and more about what they want you to become, right? This is a true leader for business, and this is a major life gem. Something to consider whether you're a founder, an owner, or an employee of a company. Recognizing the power of leading with empathy. And that's so different from how we live now amongst most corporations, whether we're on the receiving end or part of it. But empathy just runs high in the Latina community. I mean, think about it. Melissa is an owner of a beauty brand whose mission is to raise self-esteem in her customers by providing products and knowledge that embrace natural beauty, who we really are, in the skin tones we are, in the way we relate to cosmetics and makeup. She's not out for the largest profit, although she will succeed financially by valuing her worth. But she's not going to cut corners if it means it's not better for you. That's the empathy. Ring of Color is all about meeting you where you're at with products and support that provide that well-being for you. Celebrating who you are rather than who you should aspire to be. Right? Now compare that to Coca-Cola that doesn't have a problem filling their product with ingredients that knowingly ruin your body. That high fructose corn syrup, it's so much cheaper than sugar. Yes, it's bad for you, but you know what? Coca-Cola likes that larger profit. Warren Buffett loves the dividends. But Latina owners leading with empathy show us the importance, the necessity of more Latinas moving into ownership and leadership. So remember to reach out to Melissa Polanco through her website, ringofcolor.com, for a virtual shopping experience. If you don't know where to start or you're not sure about the products, she will literally meet with you remotely and guide you through it. Huge empathy. Reach out to her for camaraderie and collaboration. I could see a lot of collaborative projects going down amongst the Latina owners and founders. In fact, one collaboration that I would like to instill, and I haven't even told her yet, so I hope she's listening, is that I am presenting a workshop, 90-minute long workshop, at this year's in-person National Conference for College Women Student Leaders. And this conference is created by the American Association of University Women. I'm so excited. I am so excited for this opportunity, so grateful. So what better place than in a national conference by the American Association of University Women for College Women Student Leaders? What better place to bring in Melissa Polanco's Ring of Color products with the empathetic understanding of how difficult it can be in college, how necessary it is to provide collaboration and camaraderie, and how difficult it can be when you're under a lot of pressure to really feel good about yourself, to walk out in the world owning yourself, whether it's big and bold and you're out there in the community, or you just want to be in a mode of self-care. That is all covered by Melissa Polanco's Ring of Color products. So, in my workshop, Cultural Identity, Authenticity is Your Superpower, I will be gifting each attendee a product from Melissa Polanco's Ring of Color line. I haven't even told her yet. Let's see if she's listening. All right, ladies. What a great Pod Club episode. So much to talk about. So check out the social media links that she mentioned last week, but we will also include them again in this episode's show notes. And remember, the larger our circle of influence becomes, the more Latinas are included in this community and no longer have to battle for recognition and representation. So if you haven't done so already, take a moment now to follow and subscribe to this podcast on any of your favorite streaming podcasts so that each episode is automatically in your device, because you won't want to miss next week's episode. We're already heading towards halfway through 2023. Can you believe it? We are literally approaching the midway mark. And it's a perfect time to take a pause and check in with yourself. Have you had any pains from the past coming to the surface this year? Are you dragging them along with you into a growing end of the year? We get it. We're here for you. But with our guest next week, Karina Ponce, a Mexican-American healer, you will hear her story of partnering with others as they embark on their healing journeys. Be part of the healing with us next week when you listen to Karina Ponce. And I have to say, having spoken with her just in a chat session and then the actual interview, I was totally mesmerized. I felt like in the interview, I was actually in my own session, feeling the healing, understanding the process, and seeing the journey of how you heal, how you go back and come to peace with those that have hurt you in the past and with the circumstances that you offer grace and forgiveness to. She is the light that will illuminate the path towards your healing, so you really don't want to miss her next week. And if you go to her website beforehand, yosoykarina.com, you'll learn more about her and her professional sessions in healing. You might be a little more prepared for next week. So I just want to share this. This is a quote from her website. She credits it as a medicine woman's prayer, and this is really profound. You'll feel the warmth, the hug, the love, the presence. It goes like this. I will not rescue you, for you are not powerless. I will not fix you, for you are not broken. I will not heal you, for I see you in your wholeness. I will walk with you through the darkness as you remember your light. Yeah. How many times do you want to put that on repeat? Keep that with you. Know there are women in our community that lead you towards this understanding, and let go of whatever's holding you back and holding you down. And in that love of self, and with that love we carry forward for others, I want to wish all the mamas out there a sassy, loving Mother's Day this weekend, and to our own mothers that gifted us this life, that got us to this point. May we hold them in grace and understanding of their own journeys and love for all they were able to give us. Step into your truth, ladies. Ciao. Really appreciate the time you take to rate and review the podcast. Get the backstory and what you've heard here today and reach out to us at thelinks.com. That's LNXX. Because it's about time, it's about us. Stay in the groove on our social media at Lifelinks and get ready to make your move, ladies. Viva!